I'm Beverly Robertson, Principal, Trust Marketing and Communications Consortium, former president of the National Civil Rights Museum. I have had the occasion to have an employee who worked with me in corporate America who was a victim of domestic violence. And it's interesting how I found out about it. I noticed that she was absent with a great deal of frequency during certain periods of time. And so I asked her, is there anything you'd like to talk to me about? Are you having any difficulty with your children that I might assist you with? And of course she responded no in each instance. But then she came in a month later with a black eye. And I knew something was wrong. So I asked her if she would care to share her story with me. And she decided, she thought about it, and she came back at the end of the day. And she said, yes, my husband hit me. I said, well, what do you think you should do about that? She said, well, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. But then the next couple of weeks, she came back in with a bruise, big bruise, on her arm. And I noticed the bruise and I said, okay, so what can I help you do? What can I help you do? And we started talking in earnest about her developing a plan, deciding exactly what she needed to do with her children, how she needed to have some kind of conversation with them, how she really needed to make a plan. She said, I don't think I'm ready. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. So she kept getting hit, abused, and finally she got fed up. And I think some of it is that they have to get fed up to be able to accept and receive assistance. And so when she did, we literally sat down and said, do you have a place where you can go? Have you made out a plan? Please don't communicate everything to the individual that's doing the abusing, because that might foil everything you're thinking about doing. Ultimately, she got up the courage to leave. And when she left, she decided that she was stronger than she thought she was. And she was glad that she had done it. And long story short, she got a divorce. And now and frankly, it created some problems in the workforce, not problems for me, but problems for her, being able to deal with it. Because I think one of the things she thought is that people would look down on her. Certainly everybody would know and nobody knew. But I think that is the perception when you're sharing something that intimately personal, something that has happened to you. You're always thinking that somebody else is going to know, and what are they going to think, and what's going to happen to my job, and am I going to be able to take care of my children? So there are a lot of questions that go through people's minds as they think about making a very solid decision to leave an individual that they married to, that they thought didn't, surely this person couldn't be this way. But when it kept happening, I think it convinced her that this was a situation that she needed to leave. So ultimately, she divorced him. She has finally gotten remarried. She's moved out of town. She's doing great. But many times I have to tell you, one of the things that I told her is that you need to seek some counseling, because it takes a while to really get over that. And maybe you never really get over it. Maybe you always remember it, but you can process the information well enough to be able to be successful as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as an employee. So that's really one of the stories that I personally was involved with. She was victimized, she was fearful, but she mustered up the courage to do something about it.
That's great.
I don't think she could have done it. I don't think she would have stayed in that situation, and she ultimately could have been seriously hurt. I think employers need to be observant. They need to understand the characteristics of their employees. And when something is happening that is different from the norm for that particular individual, I think employers need to be sensitive enough to ask questions, to ask, can I help you? To say, to acknowledge. And I'm noticing that you're coming in just a little bit later every day. I'm noticing that you're responding a little bit differently. I'm noticing that you're staying on the phone a little bit more than you have in the past. Is there something I can help you with? And I think they have to inquire. They need to inquire about it. And they need to serve as counsel. And if they're not comfortable, they need to refer the individual to someone who is able to assist them. Men should be some of the biggest proponents to communicate the importance of never lifting your hand to hit or verbally abuse a woman, because they have a mother. Some of them have sisters, they have aunts, they have friends who are females, and it's a blatant disrespect of that. So I would like to hear men's voices more. It's important for men to speak out and address other men. Brothers listen to brothers. Sisters listen to sisters. So it's important that men use their voices to suggest, to recommend, to strongly discuss with them the importance of respect and the importance of never imposing any violent act on a woman. That is vital to the success of any communication program targeting domestic violence. And I recognize that there are women who can be and are abusers as well, but there's a higher and greater propensity of men to abuse women. And I think the voices that ought to be heard more loudly even than mine is that of a man. I think it is really important that men stop endorsing other men when they make jokes about rape, or make jokes about hitting, or make jokes about, cutting, or doing anything that would disrespect a woman. And rape, to me, is the most insidious and it's a crime for me. To me, it's the most insidious crime that anyone could experience. It victimizes my personal space. It victimizes me personally. It creates problems for me because I might never be able to have a sound relationship with a man again. I might be fearful about ever having a child. I might not be able to deal with a man in any sense of the form, whether it's as an employer, as a friend, as a church member, as a neighbor. It creates all kinds of problems. And so men need to stop making a joke of rape or any other act of assault or domestic violence. It is not funny. And it could be your mother, your sister, your aunt, your daughter who may be going through that situation. Ask yourself then, would it be funny to you?